Hello. So somebody left a nice comment and said that they were concerned about me and asked me to get a reading because of a recent upload. And some things was happening while I was trying to talk and stuff, and I want to say this. They asked me to get a reading, but I'm going to be honest with you. I see very well in the spirit, and I see everything that's going on. The problem is that, what do I do about it? And I'm getting the answers what to do about it. But the issue is that I have to decide. It's hard to decide. Honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It's time to get out of living like a human for me. Because a lot of us, we were not meant to live like a human forever. A human is the lowest level of the soul. Now, I figured out that what has been done purposely by something much higher, even though there's very evil entities and people involved doing a lot of esoteric work. There's also it's also bigger than whatever they think they're doing. It's almost like what Judas did, okay? It's almost like what Judas did. And so something more powerful than his evil actually made him do what he did because it was already in his heart in the first place. But then when the thing was accomplished, what was supposed to be accomplished, he was killed. And so I already kind of know the outcome. And to be honest with you, like the lady said, should I get a reading? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I already know people. Now, I know what's going on. I don't need a reading besides just somebody extra to talk to. But I can basically say everything that's going on. But as a matter of fact, when I have spoken to people before, sometimes they ask me questions. I can see everything that's going on, but see, when you're in a spiritual battle yourself, when you yourself is in a spiritual battle, and it's meant to cause you to evolve out of the physical way of thinking, out of the human way of thinking, it's challenging. Okay, now, I keep talking about finances because I'm about to be honest. At this point, I don't feel like I have a reason to just lie to you. And the reason why I don't have a reason to just lie to you and act like everything's all right with the world, because at this point, that's stupid. Why lie about things? Even if people gossip and say, "Ooh, well, see, that they bringing stuff back on themselves anyway." People who feel like their life is so together that they got to constantly criticize somebody else, they're already trapped, okay? They consciously, they're capped and they are trapped. And they don't know it. And their life can go good. They can drive a nice car and stay in a nice house for a very long time. And they think because their life is made because they live like that. But actually, they are going to remain trapped for eternity inside of a supercomputer. And to truly wake up and come out of a mindset that we have lived in for thousands of years, the type of mindset that we have had for thousands of years, to truly come out of that it's going to take it's going to be extremely uncomfortable. And for me, it is extremely uncomfortable, but I know what's behind it. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I get a reading, this person has to really be able to see beyond the simulation to know who's behind this, because the beings that's behind this, it's not even in the simulation. That's why I said the evil people that's involved is doing what they're doing. They think it's their doing. But I know it's something much more powerful than they are. And because they are naturally evil, it's easy to use them, because it's time for me to rise up out of thinking like a human. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's time to be honest, because the reset is happening. And I don't know what the people who's listening, I don't know what's going to happen in the next year, because the reset is happening right now. That's why I ain't going to get into all of that. It's people talking about all over YouTube. with the thing, and I don't want to get into that because people are already talking about it, and I just don't want to bring that up. But I am being shaken to come out of this way of thinking, because I'm gonna tell you something. What I was something that was far, 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 far more advanced than what I am right now. Right now, I'm some kind of imperfect human that just like they got to pee and crap, they got to eat and got to pay rent. Who pays rent? Listen, I thought about this before, and I said this before. Anybody got to pay rent, they dead. And I'm talking about even the rich. They are the living dead. Anytime you're paying rent, it's like you paying for time, and it's like you're dead. You got to eat to live. And then the thing is, it's like, okay, we know time is an illusion, but then you still go by time even though we know it's an illusion. Here's why. Because something tells you you need to eat every 24 hours or whatever. Now, what happens if you just remove time? You wouldn't even know 24 hours passed by because time is removed. And so will you ever get hungry, right? Will you ever get hungry if time is completely removed? Because right now, most of us eat something every 24 hours, right? Some people eat more than that. I'm not into eating 3 times a day because I'm not that hungry. And plus I don't have that many bowel movements to put that much in my body like that unless I'm really, really doing a lot of hard, heavy work where I need to constantly stay energized or whatever. I'm not the kind of person to be eating 3 times a day because I'm not taking craps 3 and 4 times a day. So I'm not going to eat 3, 4 times a day. It's just going to stack up all that stuff in my intestines. But that's just me, because that's how I saw how my body works. That's not a good idea for me. So you got to know how your body works. That's all. But look how far I fell. I'm a fallen angel, and when I talk about fallen angels, I ain't talking about these demons that people want to scare you with. But then I could be one of them, but because it's been a lot of spookism. But I know what I am. I'm gonna say this. I know what I am. I've seen what I truly look like. I've seen the real astral body, and it don't look like a human being. Okay. It don't look like a human being. I say that, and that's who I really am. And I exist outside the simulation. My true existence is outside the simulation, and my family, my true ancestors, my family, which they might not be my ancestors, they might be my children, to be honest with you. But they just been around, which we would think of millions of years, but they just might be my children trying to say, Mama, it's time to come back. I'm not human. And you know what? At this point, this upload sounds crazy, but I'm just like tired of, I'm tired of like saving face for what? I want to make this clear. I hope somebody is still listening. And if nobody caught this, I'm going to do it again. There's a guy that said, I saw the simulation, right? He is a brown guy. Okay. I don't know this man. I just was, I typed in the search bar because I wanted to hear somebody talk about the simulation. And I ran this brown guy, his thumbnail stick out to me. See, it was nothing special about what I saw with his thumbnail. It's just that I kind of can be in tune with things where it's like, that's it. And it can be like a black looking screen, like what my screens are like, black. But something in my spirit to say, that's it. Even though other people might have pretty thumbnails, I can look at somebody else and say, that's it. And it might not be all fancy because something in me to say, go there. And so this guy who is a brown male said that he saw the simulation, and this is what stood out to me. And I already knew about being in the virtual reality. I already knew it. But when he talked about what he saw, it was a slam dunk for me, right? He was on the psychedelics. I never took psychedelics, and the reason why is because I've always, since a little girl, been under attack because of what my family did, what my mother did, like the rituals they've done, to the point where they've had too many entities around me for me to play with psychedelics like that, because those entities gonna make sure I don't wake the heck back up. So I gotta do things the long and hard way and evolve myself naturally like that. I can't do the psychedelic thing. I'm not judging anybody else who done it. I tried it before and I saw what was going to happen. Because of what my mother did. She ain't my mother, but she played the role of it, because it's a virtual reality. And because of what she did, I got these things that follow me, and I knew that it was going to be hard to bring me back. Let's just say that. It was going to be hard to bring me back, and that's why I don't mess with it. But, so anyway, he said that he took these psychedelics. And he said that, like, he felt like he was being pushed out the simulation. Music sounded different. He said he looked at his friend. Everything was normal, but because he took them psychedelics, it opened up his mind, like it expanded his consciousness. You know how your consciousness naturally can expand? But see, the way, when you take those psychedelics like that and you do too much, you can go into shock. And it was almost like a shock. What this guy did is he did so much. And I'm not going to criticize him. This is what he said. Because he kept saying, oh, man, I went too far. I went too far. So this is what he said, because I ain't never had it before. He said he looked at his friend. His friend looked like some kind of clay being. Like, he looked like clay. And then he was listening to the music, and the music was like, dun, 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 dun. And then he said he looked outside, and it was nothing but oneness. Like, and I've been in that, so I already know what he's talking about, because I've been like that doing meditations. Okay, so I already know what he's talking about. It's just pitch. It's black, but see, it's oneness when I go out. But it's water too. Like, it's like I'm on water. It's dark, and it's like I'm above some kind of water. Like I'm on water. Okay. But I've seen that when it was daylight, when I come out the simulation. I said it before. It's a never-ending ocean. Like, it is a never-ending ocean. You don't see land. Nothing but water. Nothing but water. Makes me think of that doggone flood or whatever. Like, did the water actually recede? Like, I ain't seen no land, nothing but water. I don't think the water's ever receded. But anyway, and I've seen it more than once. Okay, so I'm going to say this because I just saw something when I blinked my eyes. And I'm going to go back to the human thing. What really needs to happen is that I got to get out of duality. What is duality? Duality is like, really, you have to let go of the ego self. Now, that's hard to do when you have things to do every day, because if I didn't have things to do every day and I was able to just like sit and just be comfortable, duality probably would not be a problem for me, because I would not have any responsibilities. But when you have responsibilities, duality keeps coming in. And what I mean by duality is, like, I can tell when I'm in duality, like when I close my eyes and I see black and white. That's duality. I'm talking about just black and white. Like, I don't see dreams in black and white. I ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about, like, I can see the colors to let me know I'm back in duality and not in a higher state. That means ego. And it's time to evolve from the ego. Oh yeah, let me finish talking about, I'm sorry guys, let me finish talking about what that guy said, because when he talked about the oneness and I talked about the flood and I saw water and stuff, then I kind of got off track. So let me tell you what really stood out to me, what he said. He said they went to go pick up his cousin, and I'm going to post a link to his video below. He said he went to go to pick up his cousin, and he said when he saw his cousin, he said he saw his cousin's face depixelating. Like, you see pixels. If you go to anywhere where you look up pixels, you look up Sims, and you see something that depixelate, you see it coming apart. Like, the pixels are coming out. Like, their face was formed, and their face is deforming, and it like pixels coming out all over the place. That's what he said he saw with his cousin when they went to pick up his cousin. So he really saw the simulation, but he went so far that that could be a shock to some people. Like, that could be a shock. He did a lot at one time. And then he said that he went back to he went back to this house, this place where he was staying, where he stayed with elderly people. And he said that he was watching something, and it was like some kind of Family Guy or something. And then when he was watching Family Guy, it's like, I think the character might have been talking to him or something. And he was like, haha, you've been here before. That's why I talked about the time loop. And we've been here for like a number, like decades or hundreds of years. And we've been kind of living out the same thing over and over and over again. That's why I don't want to watch any more YouTube videos talking about Biden, talking about the you-know-what. Because this has already happened over and over and over and over again, that to the point where I don't want to see any videos about that, because I don't want that to continue to be a reality for me. If I know I don't live this like over 10, 20 times already, I live the same events. I don't want to watch any more uploads concerning this stuff. Or Biden, or what's going on, or racism. And I don't want to watch any more videos, even like stuff that's going on with the gender, or just anything. I don't want to look at it no more, because if I know I don't live that same thing over and over again, then I'm going to stop looking at it. It's like you looking at a movie. I remember when I was a little girl, and this movie, I used to like watching True Beverly Hills and Big. I'm just using an example. And when I was a little girl, I like watched this movie Big with Tom Hanks like 20, 30 times. I used to watch it every day. You know, that's when VHS was out. And I would watch True Beverly Hills and Coming to America. And I would watch it every day. Like I know what's going to happen, but I keep watching it every day. Now I'm at the point where I don't like to watch the same movie twice. I'm getting to the point, well, I'm already at the point. If I don't see it one time, the only way I will watch it again is if there is something, like I need to study it. There's some jewels in there, and I need to pull it out. Like, because like you could have watched it, but then when 2 years pass by and you have more of an occultist type of mind, then you watch it again, because you're going to see it with different type of eyes, right? You're going to see it differently. That's when I watch movies twice, because I know I'm going to see something different than when I saw it the first time. Okay, but no, I don't watch movies more than once. If I already understood it the first time, like say if it was a comedy, okay, well, I laughed when I saw it in the movies or whatever. I'm not going to watch it twice. I know what it was about. Okay, so that's why I don't watch TV, because there's a lot of reruns, and I just cut off the TV because I just cut it off. But I wouldn't want to look at it anyway, because it's a bunch of reruns. And why do I need to look at Martin? Why do I need to look at Living Single? I mean, I've seen all the episodes. I don't watch things twice anymore. I don't do it. And I don't want to see the news at all. And like I said before, I just realized it was the Olympics. I don't know if it's tryouts. See how behind I am, because I'm not looking at nothing. I'm not looking at anything. So I'm not even aware. There was Olympics. Okay, but yeah, so getting back to me getting out of this human way of thinking, and I'm no longer going to be ashamed of saying things that's going on, is because I'm aware that we're in a virtual reality. And what I need to do, and what I'm being forced to do, is to come out of this limited mind. We've all been kept. If you're listening to me and you feel like you're a human being. If you feel like you're a human being, that's capped consciously, because that's a very low form of the soul. Like that's the lowest form of the soul, and that's very low consciousness. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. That's low consciousness. You know, we were supposed to evolve from that. And I'm gonna tell you something. People feel like this COVID thing is wrong. I said I wasn't gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say it now, because this is something nobody else I've heard say on YouTube. The reason why these people are not wrong, I'm not saying that these people are not evil and all that stuff, but what they're doing at this point is not necessarily wrong. Is because it was up to us to get our mind out of other things that's distracting us and be focused on evolving just be focused on evolving and raising our consciousness. That's what we should have been doing. But a lot of us, and I'll just say us, and me included, but I mean, that's why I stopped looking at TV and everything years ago. A lot of people are still interested in Kim and Kanye. I mean, Kanye, right? And this is not to dig at anybody. I'm just saying. A lot of people are interested in what Kim and Kanye business, right? A lot of people are interested in Rihanna business, right? Or like, even this is not just the brown people, even in the beauty community, even non-black people, even white people, they got stuff going on with them where they can indulge in all kind of gossip. They got plenty of celebrities on their side, you know, that's white that they can gossip about too. So this is not just about me just talking about brown folks and what brown folks do. I ain't doing that. What I'm saying is that we were given a certain amount of time to evolve. We are still stuck thinking like human beings that need to take a pee and a boo-boo and need to eat to live and got to pay rent to stay somewhere. We should have evolved out of that. Most of us should have evolved out of that by now, and we have not. We are still living the same just about, and we should have evolved. And what we did was we devolved and we went further into the underworld. So I don't make this too long, I'm going to make a separate one about where a lot of people might really be, because where you think you are, when your eyes are open and when you are awake, I'm gonna tell you something, you're really asleep. When you are awake, like I'm talking right now, right, and my eyes are wide open, right, but you're really sleeping. You're not awake, you're sleeping. So you're not where you think you are. Is not where you really are. Like, say, okay, if you're listening to me, right? If you're sitting at a desk, if you're sitting at a cubicle, if you're sitting in your house, if you're sitting in your car, a restaurant, or wherever you are, that's not where you really are, unless you were able to match up what you would call your dream world with what you would think is your physical reality, which is really the, kind of the false one. But even in the dream world, it can still be an illusion. I mean, it's all a simulation, right? So, I mean, but still, even with the simulation, you're sleeping when you are awake. So when you think your eyes are open, you're really not awake. You're really not awake. When I'm in my dreams, I don't even see time. Like, I try to look at clocks and stuff. I don't even see time. But, and my name is not what it is. Like, what I didn't know my name to be in what we call awake, that's really sleep. That's not my name, in the dream. Like, that's not my name. But so, it's almost like we're going through this life to make some changes, so we can be where we want to be when this particular time of the living dead is up. So yeah, I think I don't want to go on too far because I said what I had to say. But yeah, that was nice of that lady to be concerned for me and the way I was talking. That was nice because, I mean, if I heard somebody else talking like that, I would be all up in. If they had an email, I'd be emailing them and talking to them and getting in their comment section. I'd be doing the same thing if I heard something. And I'm gonna leave that video up because I'm done hiding myself. I'm done hiding. Because what happens is when you want to hide, because people do talk trash, they do, but then it's a certain type of fear that you live in. It's like fear of judgment, like fear of not being accepted, and I don't care. So I'm gonna leave that video on up. I'm gonna leave it up. But yeah, it's time for us to come out of thinking like a human being. It's time to come out of thinking like a human being. And what I'm going through is because I have beings that's outside of the simulation and some that's been trapped. But they don't really have that human form. But I actually see them that actually exist outside the simulation. I can see outside the simulation sometimes, and I see them, and they are very big, taller than the mountains. But see, I don't want to go there because some people are like, I don't believe in that. Well, you don't. That's okay. We're acting like a human. We are acting like a human. Like we're humanoids. We're not what we think we are. So, but that's okay. Everybody's at different places in their life, and you know what? What I say when I upload these videos, it's nothing that you can read. I don't read. I'm pretty sure if somebody's listening to me that's had experience with what I'm talking about, then we can talk. But what I'm saying is nothing that I read in any book. It's what I keep going through. And then I might hear somebody else who might do a YouTube video that like maybe confirm what I was saying. Like, okay, so they see this too. Okay, But other than that, whatever I say is my experiences, and I just share it. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, I would have got it taken care of a long time ago. Would have tried to, but see, I don't ask anybody to do anything for free for me. Like, I don't do that. I don't want to ask people to do anything for free. And so because of that, it's like I keep trying to figure out what's the best thing to do to get it under control. And like I said, I already know the answer. I know what I got to do. And the answer is to stop acting like a human, like stop being a human. It's time to get out of the physical way of thinking. That is low consciousness. The physical way of thinking is low consciousness. I'm going to say it right now. And it's time to raise up out of that. It's time to raise up out of it. So I know what I'm supposed to do. And to be honest with you, if I try to do things a simple way and just get somebody to pay them, and who knows if I pay somebody, even if they're good at what they do, who's to say what they do is going to work? You know why? Because my babies are doing this. I know. When I say my babies, actually, when it comes to years, because I'm on this Gregorian calendar, they're probably millions of years old, but they're still my babies because I fail. I fail. I'm not a human. I fail to this existence. And my babies saying it's time for you to stop this. It's like, you need to stop. Do you know who you were? Do you know who you were? You probably was the one that was creating the galaxies. Why are you taking peas and boo-boos? Like you some low form of some kind of being. You created galaxies. Wake up, stop. So I know why I'm dealing with this. And if I pay the best metaphysician to help me, you know what? It probably won't even work because my beings that exist outside the simulation can shut that down because they're more powerful than the humans here. And whatever I pay somebody to do, to be honest, if they're trying to accomplish something, then it's going to be accomplished. So I can't just pay somebody, right? And go back to acting like some kind of human being that's going to take a pee-pee. They got to go eat every day. I can't just pay somebody to remove this thing from me. Like Paul said, that doggone thorn. But anyway, it's worse. I'm not going to get that in their life, though. Because it gets enough attention when I have to deal with it. So I'm not going to give it any life right now. It's a bitch, though. But I'm not going to give it life because it gets life when I have to freaking deal with it. So that's when it get fucking life. But it won't be removed until I do what I'm supposed to do. And to some people who can get it, they're going to get it. And to some people who it don't relate to, it just don't relate to them. And there's nothing wrong with either one. You know why? Because I'm going to tell you, to the people who might not feel like they can relate to what I'm saying, it's because they ain't supposed to relate. It's not for them to do what I'm doing. So if they can't relate, I'm not going to get on that because guess what? If their soul decides it's time for them to come out of this human existence, this low existence, if their soul decides it's time for them to come out of it, their soul is going to come up with some hell for them to go through or to go to. okay? So they can fight and then eventually evolve. So if they can't relate, it's because their soul or something else that's higher is not trying to get them to do anything right now. And the ones that can get it, maybe they have had some similar things happen to them where they keep trying to work on it and do stuff and try, and it just seems like they might be doing okay, but it's still like it's a struggle for them, because maybe they could be. It's time for them to come up out of this human stuff. It's time because that's a state of mind. Let me tell you something. Being a human and being a physical and thinking that you're physical and having to go to the bathroom and having to drive a car and having to pay rent, I'm going to tell you something. That is a state of mind. That's where your mind is. And so you're stuck in a certain rule set. And it's time to graduate from that. Because like I said, in a virtual reality, you have avatars. So there's only consciousness, right? There's consciousness. And it's time to go get to a higher consciousness. That's what that is. It's time to get to a higher consciousness. It's time to get out this rule set for some of us. And for some of us, some people, it ain't time for. And I ain't got nothing to say about that. You know, some people like to criticize folks that don't get what they're saying. And I get their frustration because they know things and they want everybody else to know what they know. But you can't get mad and want to dog folks out because they not where you are, because you don't know. Like, everybody's in their own reality, everybody's in their own reality. You just got to say what you got to say. And whoever is meant to hear it, whoever resonate with, that's just who it resonate with. I can't just criticize folks. I'm trying to wake y'all up. Well, whoever is meant to wake up, that's who is meant to wake up. It's a little concerning when somebody say, I'm trying to wake y'all up. And I hear it a lot. I hear so many different people that say that. And it's like, just say what you got to say, because when you keep saying you're trying to wake them up, now you sound like you're full of yourself. Okay? That's ego talking. Say what you got to say. And who it resonate with is who it's going to resonate with. And who it doesn't resonate with, they don't resonate with it. But to keep saying, I just trying to wake you guys up, you sound like, you think you're above the people who are listening. Just like, no. So because you don't know where those people are, and then plus you got robotoids now, you got folks created in petri dishes. Like, you don't know who's listening now. Like, everybody ain't so-called human. I know I said I ain't human, but I'm talking about some of these folks was actually created in some kind of lab. Okay? So, you don't know who's listening to you. So you can't just, especially people who got big channels, you can't just be like, y'all need to, you got hundreds, millions of people who listen to you, collective of your videos. You may have millions of views. You just can't expect everybody who listen to get it, because you don't know who's listening. You don't know what they are and who they are. You got bots listening to you and then come in and say dumb stuff, and they're bots. I used to have this bot, and I've seen it on other people's channels too. And this was in 2020. And this, you get the craziest comments. Like, I would see other people too who would make videos, and then you see this comment like sexy girls, and they leave some kind of website that nobody should ever click on. Just this silly little comments. Oh, go check out sexy girls, sexy whatever. And I'm like, who is that? And this was in 2020, and I was getting sick of those comments. I kept deleting them, but I was getting sick. I'm like, who keep doing that? I said, who keep doing that? So I was like getting frustrated, and then I just closed my eyes. I wasn't trying to see who it was, but sometimes I see. And I saw this bot-looking thing that had no face. It had like some kind of fake hair. And the face was completely missing. It didn't have eyebrows. It didn't have eyes. It didn't have a nose. It didn't have a mouth. It was just faceless. Like, it was faceless. And that's what those things are, just commenting. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that's why it's no need to get mad at everybody. You don't know who the heck is commenting to you. Like, you don't know who they are. And some of them could be teenagers. Like, they could be a 10-year-old. And you's like, y'all so immature. I wish I wake up. Well, he immature because he's 10 and he's watching your YouTube channel. That's why that comment sounds so immature. So I'm very cognizant too of, like, if you get a number of people who may comment, be very cognizant that they might be under the age of 18. You know? But anyway, yeah, that's it. So just to go back to summarize, because I'm about to go, but just to go back to summarize what I was saying, it's just that, I did want to get a reading, but I know who to go to. The problem is that, where I'm hit it was my finances. That's where I'm hit. And this is not to try to, bother anybody with anything. I'm just telling you the story, what's going on. So that's why I was hit spiritually. And I'm hit in other ways spiritually too. And so now it's I can't really pay anybody to do those kind of things. And if I do pay somebody to do a reading, they're going to tell me what I already know, because I already know it's been going on for a little while now, to the point where I know who's doing it, and I know what's going on, and I've seen what the things look like. Like, it's not, oh God, I know. Yeah, it's time. So let me tell you something. I'm going to get off because I was just shown that I'm getting too far back in my ego, but so it's time to, when I say about ego, I'm talking about lower self. And so people reduce ego to having pride, and no, ego is like your false self, who you think you are in this false reality. Your name, the fact that you think you were born, stuff like that. Who you think you are as a person in this false reality is really just your ego. And I'm being attacked because my ancient ones that exist outside the simulation is trying to pull me up out of the ego, because it's something that don't exist. It don't exist. It's a character that I played in this particular lifetime, but like I'm really not even I'm really invisible. Like, I don't have the house I'm in, the car I'm in. It's not even really here. It's like it's nothing there. And I'm just like, my mind is stuck on something that doesn't exist. And what these beings, that's really my family, is pulling me out of a non-existent world and a non-existent self that don't even exist. Non-existent problems. Because my problems can't exist because I don't really exist. Now, the true self exists. That exists. But me, as a person who, like, is sitting right now in my car talking to you, that's about to go in this house, that's gonna, that got things to do, that person don't exist. That person does not really exist. That is an ego self. That's an ego self. That person don't exist. But our mind has been stuck in that type of reality for so long that it's hard to get out of. And I'm being forced to come out of it. I'm literally being forced. And it's bad. It's not great. But I need to hurry up and get on out. But yeah, that's it. And I will talk to you soon. Okay.